Alright, so here's my differential for my Ranger. I'm talking about how to properly fill the differential. Most people, when they do this, they actually don't do it properly or fill it properly. Usually when they do this, it's actually underfilled. And I used to do this too. And underfilling it. So basically, here's the fill hole, right? So usually when people fill this up, they fill it up, it starts to pour out. They're like, okay, it's filled. They put the plug back in, and they're like, okay, that's it. But what they don't consider, and usually that once it spills out, they just plug it back in, and that's within a matter of minutes. What they don't consider is that on the funnel drive valve here, the pumpkin here, what do they call it, pumpkin or valve, whatever, the final drive housing here, it connects to the axle, and the axle will, it connects to the axles, and the axle goes all the way to the bearings, and the final drive, at least on this Ford, anyways, this Ford Ranger, is that the bearing, the axle bearing, also uses the final drive oil to lube the bearing as well. So in the axle here, there's actually final drive oil as well. And if you actually look at it, the bottom of the plug, and if you level it with the axle, it goes up to about, I wouldn't say halfway, I'd probably say about maybe 40% or so of the way, less than halfway. Yeah, I say about 40% of the way up. So when you fill this up here to the top, you have to remember that final drive oil is very thick, so it flows very slowly. So when you fill this up right here, when it pours out and you plug it in right away, what you didn't account for was the time that it has to take for this final drive to flow out all the way to the bearings, right? All the way to the bearings on both sides, and for it to level back out. So it takes a good 5-10 minutes even for that to happen. Just because, again, the oil is so thick that it takes a while to kind of level it out. But the other thing is that on each side of the differential housing, there's bearings, on one side and the other side over here. And the oil has to actually flow through the bearing. So the bearing is actually sort of like a bottleneck. So it slows down the oil flow even more. So you got those two things. So that's why it takes a good 10 minutes or so for the fluid to level out. So you have to after you pour it in and this, you see it kind of overflow here a little bit, a few drips. You stop, give it 5-10 minutes. I would say 10 minutes. Come back to it and pour in some more, and you'll find that you can pour in some more. You do that again, and you keep on doing that. And I've been at this for, I think I've been doing this for like almost an hour now. And I can still feel a little bit in. Each time I fill in, it's a little bit less. The first time that I wait for it to level out and fill in, I'm like pouring in a lot again, more. So now that I've done this for almost an hour, each step I'm pouring it in, it's like a little bit less and a little bit less. With the bottle, the bottle here, it's 1 quart, and what I do is, when you put it in here, I usually once it overflows and I wait for it to level out, and I start filling it again, I would squeeze that bottle pretty hard, and it would go out until it overflows. But after like an hour of it, I just squeeze the bottle a little bit, and it's enough to kind of overflow. So that's when I know that it's almost fully leveled out with the bottom of the drain plug. So I'm almost filled now. And as far as this car goes, this differential, when it's fully empty, when I say it's empty, when it gets all drained out, I also wait a good hour or so to let the oil in the axle to drain out as well. So when I do that, and everything is buttoned back up, and I fill this up, this 1 quart bottle here, initially when you first fill it up, and if you do real fast, it only takes 2 quarts, and this thing will overflow. But if you give it that time to let it level out in the axle, level out with the axle, you'll find that you could easily pour in another half quart. And that's where I'm at so far. I'm actually, I think I'm about 2.5 quarts already. I think I could add a little bit more. So that's how people when they fill this up, they underfill it basically. So in my case, for at least this car, the example of this car, if you just do real quick, you're underfilling it by about half, maybe more than half a quart, probably more like half a liter of oil. And this is a small differential. This is only a Ford Ranger 2.3 liter 4-cylinder. So it's a small engine, small open diff, and everything's small, so it doesn't hold as much volume. Axles are smaller, so if you go with a larger truck, 2-ton whatever, everything's bigger. So waiting for it to level out, it's gonna take even more fluid. So that's the main thing of it. So it's gonna take, just because actually, especially right now, it's nighttime, it's cool, so everything's cooled down. I actually opened this up, drained it out when it was warm, but it's been a couple hours now, so it's pretty cold already. But if it's middle of summer and it's a hot day, the oil will it gets warmer and it flows a little bit easier. So on those warm days, it'll be faster to fill this, but on a cold day it'll take longer. Anyways, so that's what the point of this talk is about. That people usually, when they fill this up, they don't fill it up properly, and it's actually underfilled and not overfilled. So just remember, fill it up until it starts dripping out, and give it 10 minutes to level it out. Then when it levels out, it comes down a little bit. Then go back and fill it up again, and so on and so forth. Keep on repeating that until basically once it levels out and it doesn't drop down anymore, and that's when you're actually full, properly full of differential oil. So that's it. All right, thanks for watching.